A little bit about myself. I'm currently 20 years old, pursuing my Bachelor's of Administration in Transportation Logistics at UNF, University of North Florida. I'm a very hard worker. I'm always willing to get my hands in the dirt, not really concerned with what the job is. Nothing's ever beneath me. Always working for like the betterment of the company. Always looking out for the best interest of the company and not necessarily myself. I'm really excited to see if this opportunity can help me grow my talents even more and sharpen up some of my skills that I have developed throughout life. One of my strengths would be definitely that I'm a great communicator. Um, Working in customer service and cashier skills at Winn-Dixie has definitely helped me in sharpen up these skills as well by having day-to-day conversations with these customers. These customers always present new problems every day, and I would be forced to come up with solutions on the fly to help these customers um, have solutions to these problems. Another one of my skills would definitely be that I'm an expert negotiator, and I'm great in high-pressure situations. I like to um, give credit to my dad for this actually. From a very young age, he took me to garage sales, and this allowed me to just pick up the skills of a basic negotiation and just how to read someone if they really will take less or more money for a product. This has really helped me throughout life with just everything. And another one of my skills would be that I'm a very quick learner. This skill actually translated over to Winn-Dixie once I was hired over there as a cashier. About a month in, they immediately promoted me to become customer service staff. And during this promotion, you normally have about 6 weeks to learn all the skills required to work the customer service counter. I only had 1 week due to someone quitting. They wanted to get me basically rushed along through the process. And like I said, generally 6 week process, I was able to complete this in 1 week. And they gave me the keys to the safe, and I was up and running on my own in 1 week. So I like to think that I'm able to pick up just about anything in a short amount of time. Um, a weakness that I do have, however, would definitely be organizational skills. Not to say that I'm as unorganized as they come, but it's definitely an area where I can see myself needing some work. Definitely can improve and sharpen up those skills for sure. Um, a situation where I had to adjust quickly over changes, or adjust quickly to changes where I had no control. I'd like to look back at a situation at Winn-Dixie while I was employed there. Um, it was a day where we were supposed to have 3 cashiers show up from the hours of 3 to 9, and none of them showed up for their shifts, and we were left short-handed with only 1 cashier on the floor. And once again, I was faced with a situation where just about no training can prepare you for this. Um, Immediately had to come up with a solution. I began to think, and my immediate solution was to just shut down the customer service counter for 30 minutes, put up a sign saying the systems were down, yada, yada, yada. And for about 10 minutes, I went behind, while we were kind of slow, went behind the counter and was making phone calls trying to get people to come in for their shifts, just like you would if someone didn't show up. Was able to find a couple people, however, they were like 2 to 3 hours out for the shifts. They could make it in, but not for about 2 hours. This left us shorthanded for exactly 2 hours, and immediately I tried to come up with solutions to this, as no one is really trained to jump on cash registers or anything like that. Like I said, I had shut down the customer service counter and immediately began just cashiering, which kind of goes back to what I was talking about with not afraid to really get my hands in the dirt. I'm not really there to cashier, more there to maintain the safe, run the customer service counter, but if the team's shorthanded, always willing to lend a hand, get down in the dirt, help the team out to make sure the company continues to move forward. The kind of supervisor that I believe I would work best for is definitely someone who's laid back. I don't really like having a manager on top of me at all times because I know I'm very capable of doing the job, and I like when a manager. I really enjoy when a manager trusts and kind of empowers you to do the job by just allowing you to simply do it and not being on top of you at all times. It shows that the manager trusts you by just letting you do what you do best and kind of leaving their hands off the situation. I really enjoy that. It shows that your manager has full trust in you and allows you to do your job to your best capabilities. An example of a time I had to work with a difficult person and how I handled it. One person that I have had to work with that was very difficult for me was actually my store manager at Winn-Dixie. Because, as stated in the last question, I would prefer to work for someone who's laid back and not really on top of you at all times. This manager was always on top of you, always wanted to know what you were doing, how you were doing it, which isn't necessarily wrong, but it kind of just varies person to person. And as stated in the previous question, I would prefer to have someone who's a little bit more laid back, allows me to just do me, let me make sure everything's handled, and kind of just empower me to do the job by letting me do it my way. But I was able to handle like working with my old manager Ross by more so just not worrying about what he was asking and what he was doing. Just answer his questions politely. Always just give him the answers, not that he wanted to hear, but the true answers that were there anyways, which were what he wanted to hear, because I'm always making sure I take care of what needs to be done. And just able to handle it more so, just taking it day by day, not letting him irritate me, working for the betterment of the company. And that's it.